Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in opposition to this measure. I would like to begin by acknowledging that those people who are opposed to the death penalty on the grounds of their religious beliefs or their philosophical beliefs, I certainly have great respect for those people. In fact, there's really nothing that we supporters of the death penalty can say to a person who is opposed to the death penalty on religious or philosophical grounds. However, I believe, and most of the people of this state believe, that there are some crimes that are so heinous that the only just penalty is the death penalty. In fact, if we were to abolish the death penalty today, Mr. Speaker, it would be a slap in the face to the families of the victims of those people on death row. I would like to address some of the arguments that the opponents of the death penalty put forward. In fact, I would like to say that many of the opponents of the death penalty will also say that those people who are serving on death row deserve to die. But they just have particular problems with the death penalty as it exists. They acknowledge that it's justice for those people on death row to receive the death penalty. But they might argue that we would save money by abolishing the death penalty. And I would assert that that is a false argument, because if we were to abolish the death penalty and life in prison without the possibility of parole was the most severe penalty that a person could receive, well, then those particular people charged with that crime where the penalty was life without parole, those cases would be just as vigorously defended as the death penalty cases are now defended. There would be no cost savings whatsoever. We'd have the same vigorous defense of those cases as currently the people are defending the death penalty cases. So there literally would be no savings whatsoever. In fact, obviously, there would be cost increase because there would be nobody on death row and there would be no chance of any execution if we abolished it. That's what it would mean. And therefore, there would be more people serving sentences of life without parole. So, of course, the cost would go up. So there clearly would be no savings by adopting this measure. Also, as indicated, nobody currently on Connecticut's death row is claiming actual innocence, which is a legal term that means that they believe that they didn't do what they're accused of doing. There's no claim by anybody on death row right now in Connecticut that none of those people are arguing that they're innocent. They're all guilty. Even they know they're guilty. Also, as pointed out, if we were to abolish the death penalty, prosecutors right now, Chief State's Attorney Kevin Kane has indicated, they regularly use the fact that there is a death penalty in their plea bargaining on certain cases where a defendant will plead guilty to a penalty of life without parole. In other words, the existence of the death penalty on the books at all is an important tool the prosecutors use. Connecticut has one of the most difficult death penalty statutes to obtain a conviction. We have rigorous standards and procedures. The public defender's office that represents people accused of a capital crime in Connecticut are some of the best attorneys in the country, in the world. They have, these people who are accused of a capital crime have excellent defense, and the statute gives them numerous protections. There is no constitutional problem with the death penalty in Connecticut. In fact, it's quite hard to obtain a conviction in a death penalty case in Connecticut. And I'm proud of that. It's not easy to get a death penalty conviction in Connecticut. Make no mistake. The people of Connecticut, you know, I hear talk of one-third, one-third, one-third. A strong majority of the people of Connecticut support the death penalty. And I'll tell you what they think. What I hear when I talk to the average person in my district, they support the death penalty. They just don't like the endless appeals. How many people say that to us? All the time. That's what the average person says. They support the death penalty. They just don't believe in the endless, ongoing appeals. It's a shame. It's a shame for the victims' families that these people on death row can continue for decades, literally decades, to keep appealing their case. And there's no reasonable expectation at all that the sentence will ever be carried out. That's not right.